Yeah.
Right.
So conversation kind of short, you know. By that time, my sisters came in, and so
if you was to scale back just a tad, you know,
no, go ahead. No, go ahead, bro. Come in.
Chain of thought. Like, and I know your mother has always advocated for you being connected with your biological father. Now, how was your stepdad in the mix of that? Did he at that any time had that conversation with you, or did they have a conversation before?
My stepdad never had a conversation with me in regards to, you know, he never tried to say, have a relationship with your dad. Excuse me, nothing like that. So no, nothing.
He wasn't opposed to you having either.
I don't think, no, he wouldn't have been opposed to it. He wouldn't have tried to stop him if he, you know, he told me that later. I never would have, you know, if your dad wanted to come get you, or, you know, whatever, then that would have been fine with me. You know, he was doing what he felt was right by my mom and us, was raising us. So he wasn't, and like I said, he made it clear, I'm not your, when we was, him and my mom got married, I'm not your dad, your stepdad. At that time, he even asked us to call him by his last name. So we addressed him as Mr. Demps. We didn't call him, you know, nothing more than what he asked us to, you know. So, and brother, let's go back to that teenage.
I just got another question. So, which one was Mr. Demps?
Mr. Demps is my spiritual dad. That's the one that came into my.
Did he decide that you should start calling me Mr. Demps?
From the beginning, from the time, well, it did change.
Okay.
It did change.
I was curious about that.
Yeah, it did change. And you was asking about the young men that maybe didn't have a stepfather, but just
right. So
my whole
objective is to get somebody to learn something from you that they otherwise might not have been able to pick up somewhere else.
Right.
Some recommendations, or,
okay,
you know, something like that.
All right. Recommendation is
no, I'm not recommendation, but what did, because obviously you just gave me a little bit of the answer.
Right.
You said your spiritual dad wasn't a loving, communicative person.
That's right.
Where did you go out and seek those things that you needed to make you a well-rounded man? Because obviously 2 men in your life had fell short of glory. And even when you hooked on to the ship of the new guy, Mr. Demps, that made you call him Mr. Demps, he obviously, it's a wall up here.
It is.
It's a wall right here. A lot of these women who go out and meet me in these days, they're younger mother. And they're not certifying the guy to even come into the house to even become Mr. Demps.
Right.
But he's still up in the house flicking the remote. How do these young men avoid him, or know what to look for, or know where to go seek out what they need to become a man to the next level? Because obviously you've done that. So that's the question that I would like to.
Well, with that, and then I'm going to come back to, I'm going to circle back around and also let you know how that tied in. But spirituality is the key to my success in the way I learned to be the man that I became to be. Just seeking the Most High's face, his wisdom, his guidance. And a lot of times as a young man, we think we learn our best lessons from someone giving us that positive instruction, direction, but it's not. Most High dealt with me, even with these 2 men, learn from what they shortcomings, what they didn't do. When you become a husband, make sure you do it. If you thought this was not done correctly, you do it. Your biological dad, you never heard him tell you he loved you. When you have your children, make sure you tell your children every night, every chance you get, I love you. I'm proud of you.
Now we could.
Yeah. So, you know, those things came, and I'm gonna let you know, I'm putting the spotlight on me right now because I'm telling you about these 2 men, but in reality, I was the one coming short. It wasn't necessarily these men coming short by themselves. They had their parts, but I'm coming short too. This is how I came short. This is how the Most High dealt with me. So my biological dad was due to be released. But back up a little more. We left the hospital, my sisters and I, and we driving back. I want to throw this in. And I'm sitting in the car and I'm thinking to myself, this guy blew it. Had an opportunity right then to get it right with me. And he blew it. He ain't said nothing. He didn't apologize. He just said, son, this, that, nothing. I wrote him off. So that's it. Forget this guy for real, man. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Something I had been, really pressing down in my life, like my whole childhood. I played football with vengeance. And I wasn't the biggest guy on the football field, but I was there. And guys used to say, man, what's wrong with you? They didn't know I had bitterness in me. Yes. And it's a true saying. Hurting people hurt people. And you can loop that around everything.
Question.
Yes, sir.
You said that day when you walked in there, you fully expected him to tell you all the whiny stuff.
I did.
And when he did not say that, and he just kind of kept it, look, I done got it right with God. So man, it's like the Lisa who I'm trying to please, but son, we can kick it.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you leave, you still found a way to be angry at him, not saying what you expected him to say so you can fight him.
Exactly.
So I'm listening like, maybe, like you said, you was confused. You just wanted a bump. That's all you wanted to do. If it ain't a bump, you don't want to do it.
Somewhat, especially with him, because of the way I felt about him at the time.
That's why I asked the age.
Yes.
That's why I asked the age at that time, because maturity come in at a certain point of our progress in life.
Right.
And I don't think he was at that point
right.
at that particular time.
What could he have done that day to please you?
I think, like I said, I was looking for, I don't know what I would have said if he would have came with that like that. I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't out in the streets like I was, so I wasn't that hard. You understand what I'm saying? I probably would have opened up and we probably could have had a conversation.
So you wanted it to be more real as opposed to superficial service level.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If he would have came to me and I believe I was ready for that, And like I said, I'm not.
He became real.
I don't think I wasn't 21. I probably like 19, 20.
Okay.
My first was born at I was 18 when she was born. So yeah, about 20. So
it was just at that point you didn't get nothing from him. You got nothing.
I got nothing from him. And so like I said, I left there and went back to where I was before going, which was this guy's irrelevant in my life. So got back and I went in doing what I was doing, forgot about that, pushed that back to the side or beneath me or whatever, and I'm going on with my life. Well, a few days, like I say, he was supposed to be released. In the process of the nurse leaving him to get dressed and my stepmother coming up to get him, she opened the door. To her surprise, he had passed away. Yeah, he had passed away. So she called my sisters with the news. My sisters called me, and of course they was, like I said, real emotional. So I went over to the house where they was at to comfort them. And they was wondering why I wasn't showing any emotion. Like, there for y'all, and it was like, Dad, no, I don't think you understand. Like Dad is gone. Like he not coming back. Like he dead.
You can't make it right.
Right. You can't, yeah. and then right, brother. So that part hit me. So it was like, then it came back to me from when I just left the hospital. Now it just came back to the surface again. Like, now you really don't blow it. Like when I thought you probably could have got it right. The chance is over now. What I wanted to hear you say, the chances of me hearing it is gone. Like, you gone, man. You don't checked out again, and you left some business undone.
Question.
Yes, sir.
And this is something that I'm going through myself with my own biological mama.
Mm-hmm.
I realized that you can't question your mama. I wouldn't care how old she was, because sometimes the decisions that she had to make on your behalf, you ain't gonna never get. And so I think just listening, maybe your old man knew nothing I say it's gonna sound right.
Mm-hmm.
He might have been rehearsing just like you. And then when you finally got there, showtime.
Yeah.
I'm the father.
Yes.
I don't owe you a whole explanation because I'm your father. You might like to have it, but you can't even get with what I tell you. So I'm just gonna say, how you doing? And obviously you ask how I'm doing. And I'm in church now. So I'm revealing my hand to you. I'm saying to you, I done turned it around enough to be, if I done been forgiven by God, son, I brought you here. And you just never, I don't know the type of man of a constitution yet, but that will be That would have kind of been my position. I'm on my deathbed, bro. I ain't about to strip myself naked in front of you. And you know what I'm saying? So I think in his place, he probably got it right with his maker in his own heart because you and him was able to sit in that moment and it's finished for me. I can give up the ghost because my boy came. So the moment was big to you, but just think how much bigger it was to him. Sometimes we might be personalizing it and making it a, man, you didn't never, and you wasn't never, but you got me here and I appreciate you. And then, so at this, I'm done. I think you might have robbed yourself with a gun. You put the pistol on you because you walked into that man's space feeling entitled to what you had coming and you didn't get it. And then you walked off like, so now you can't show emotion, and that's just my observation with the situation.
I think you picked up on that later on.
Correct observation. I'm going now.
I think that's so.
You spun right on, brother. And with that being said, I'm going to share with you brothers in the audience something my uncle, which was my biological dad, told me. It's going right back to what you said. My uncle told me, an elder man told him, by the time I realized what my dad was telling me was right, my son told me I was wrong. Let that marinate a minute.
Yeah, break it down.
Let that marinate. By the time I realized what my dad was telling me was right, my son told me I was wrong. So like you saying, by the time normally I'm 19, 20 years old. So by the time I really get it, now I got children and I'm trying to tell them right from wrong. Nah, man, that ain't what time it is. Because they on what they time frame is. They ain't on the time frame that you on. And like you said, he probably felt like, let's see what he got to say. And maybe I'll start off from what he got to say. But when he passed, like I said, going back to that, I wasn't showing no emotions at first. Then I started thinking about it. I'm still in my feelings now. Like you said, you're right. I'm feeling I'm entitled to something and you robbed me of it. So with that street mentality, you got me. And I'm feeling like you gone and I can't get you back. You go to the street, if somebody gets you, you try to go back, hey, retaliation. He done checked out. What can I do? so
I got no way to get back.
Yeah. So I'm feeling like, wow, and like I said, then it kind of hit me. Like the dude gone, I ain't gonna be able to hear this. I won't be able to get it right. Then I start showing my emotions. I'm air boxing the air and, swinging and crying and snotting. And the Most High came and dealt with me in that time, in that moment. Calmed me down. So he was just a man. Most High said he was just a man. You a man now. What you gonna do? You got children. What you gonna do? Most High said you went wrong. When you went to the room, when you went to the hospital, you went expecting. You didn't go giving. I could have walked in that room and said, Pop, how you doing, man? You sick. They don't told me. I ain't been reaching out to you maybe like a child should, but talk to me. Tell me something, man. Tell me what happened in your early stages of life when you was with my mom. Kick it with me. Let's chop it up now before you get out of here. All of us got to go. I don't know. I mean, he didn't know he was going to be going that soon. He was just diagnosed with something. But I could have went in there giving instead of going in, like you said, brother, feeling entitled. And that's some of our younger brothers and sisters. That's a issue we need to overcome. If your parent is still alive and that relationship is not what you felt it should have been as a child, you be the adult, or you be the one. If it's hurting you, you go to them and talk to them about what happened during this time. Because once again, now as you from a boy looking at everything to the teenage years, feeling yourself, to having children, now you got children. Now what you gonna do? And all right, I married my second child's mom. So we became a family. Things changing now. I got a family, got my wife, got my son that's already was born. she's pregnant. So as a man, as a wise man, all men should be seeking to do this, but some of us fall short. But as a wise man, I'm looking to better myself. I'm looking to better myself for my family.